One of the things that I really believe is important, that believers need to have a understanding that is deeper than just knowing something. An example is 4-year-olds was once asked, they were asked, what is love? The first one says, the little boy got up and said, it's when you kiss all the time. Second one, sister, said, no, it's when you grow tired of kissing, but you want to be together anyway. One of my favorites was this. Love is when a girl puts on perfume and a boy puts on cologne and they go out and smell each other. But I think the most accurate was, love is my grandma can't put on toenail polish anymore because she's got arthritis. So grandpa puts it on for her, even though he's got arthritis too. Is that absolutely adorable? But that's not far off. Because when we talk about love, we are not talking about a feeling. We are talking about a heart attitude. We are talking about something that goes beyond words and beyond feeling. It goes into an entire purpose that one wants to live for. Jesus would have been enough if he would have stated what he wants. Actually, he did. It was the 10 Commandments. I want you to love me, I want you to love each other. But people didn't get it. So Jesus came down himself to be an example. Now, again, if I were the example, it would have been very easy. Greg, I would have said, do you love me and want to serve me? And you would have looked at me and went, okay. And then I would have left you in like a little puddle of dust after a giant lightning bolt came and consumed you. And then I'd go to you and say, do you want to love me? And you would have went, oh yeah, betcha, you got it. You know, and then all I would have to do is come back once a month and fry somebody else just to remind you. And you would be nice and obedient, wouldn't you? But it wouldn't be out of love, it would be out of fear. You see, we spend our whole lives trying to get to a place where we don't have to serve anymore. I can retire. Really? Are you married? Men, retirement. You get busier, don't you? If you're not careful. You got more things to do. And it comes because of who we are. That we're not going to all of a sudden stop. And that's what Jesus talks about loving. He says, when you really get important, that's when you start serving the most. We're not to be these VIPs, these prime ministers, these presidents, leaders, controller of men. No. We're called to be servants because that's when you really love. Do you ever notice these castles and these they have huge doors that you can make grand entrances. But if you're a servant, you go to the small door around the side and come in the back way. And it's supposed to say, because you're not important. But let me tell you, when you sit down to Thanksgiving, do you need a cook? And that's what makes the dinner good. We went out to eat on Friday. We went to a fish fry. True story. We got there at 6 o'clock. We're sitting around this table. And we made our order. People came in around us. sat down, and got fed. We didn't. We were there for about 2 hours and 10 minutes before we got our food. Then we got our food. And my shrimp was the consistency of a rubber ball. Okay? My wife, she wanted to share her fish with me, but she couldn't find anything because most of it was fried off. They just dropped it in the grease and let it fry forever. It was overdone. One at our table ordered mozzarella sticks 2 hours before the mozzarella sticks got there. And they didn't even include the marinara cup next to it. I mean, it was the worst experience we've ever had. But it was a nice night. You know why? We're with friends. We left, we went to Dairy Queen so we get at least something right served us. But it's okay. Because we got to spend time with each other. That's what we forget about when we get into this world's idea of what is important and what is necessary. Jesus sits down at a table with his disciples. And what he does is he gets up because nobody bothered to wash their feet. And he wraps a towel around his waist and did it himself. I loved Peter. Oh, you're not going to wash my feet. Oh, yes, I am. Because if you don't let me wash your feet, you're not going to have a part of my kingdom. Okay, wash my head and body too. No, I just need to wash your feet, Peter. And then at the end, he invites us to join him. Now, just as I have done, you do. What was that saying? Care for each other. Understand we are not in this alone, but we are in this together. We're to have a relationship. We're to carry each other. Simple as that. What I like about the Apostle Paul when he writes in 1 Corinthians, now I know we hear that at just about every wedding, but that love is meant, really that chapter is meant about churches, real churches that people actually who love Jesus attend and love each other because of it. And he is speaking to a Corinthian church that got things out of whack. You see, they got too spiritual to love each other. They got too spiritual to behave and to act like Jesus called them to behave and act. They got too full of themselves. So, Paul goes, if I speak in tongues of men and angels, but have not love, I am a clanging gong or a cymbal. No offense, or a drummer. Here's the problem. The problem is if there is not actual love between one and another, Jesus isn't present. It doesn't matter how well you decipher the scriptures, or even if you speak in a heavenly language. It's no big deal because you missed the boat. So much for being spiritual. And then he goes to, if I can fathom all mysteries, if I am wiser than the wisest person, but if I have not love, what use am I? Knowledge. Knowledge does not count if you can't love the people around you. Can you wrap that towel around your waist and wash somebody else's feet? If you can't, I don't care how smart you are, Jesus says, because you're just not cutting it. And then he goes into, and if I give away all that I have to the poor. Do you ever read about these people in the paper? I'm going to give $1 billion to something. Whoop-de-doo. Doesn't mean it'll make a difference. There are parents today that give their kids everything, but don't want to take time to love them, to listen to them, to care about them. And then they wonder why their kids are crazy. Here it is. This is Jesus writing to the church. Do you really love each other? How? Show me your life. Let me see what you do. I don't care what you talk about. You see, we have these things. I love everybody. Really? One of my favorite sayings is, don't write a check with your mouth that your body can't cash. When do you show up in other people's lives? That's going to determine the depth and the breadth of Jesus flowing through us into this community. Fair enough? One of my favorite stories was the Oceana. It was in the 90s. It was a ship, a cruise ship that ran aground off the coast of Greece. Okay? 160 passengers died. Do you know what the captain did? He jumped ship. He got helicoptered off of the ship the first thing. Now, you remember the captain's usually the last one to leave because he's going to make sure. He said this, he says, my leadership was going to be more valuable on the shore than if I was on the ship. Do you buy that, or he's chicken? Chicken. That's what happens when Christians don't lead out in their lives about loving each other. Is they just prove themselves to be more hypocritical than actual. Love does paint other people's toenails. Just happens. Do you think that Grandpa grew up his whole life going, I hope Grandma gets arthritis someday so I can paint her toenails? No, he just saw a need and stooped to do it. Here's what it is. Christianity comes down to basin theology. Simple as that. Basin theology. Are you willing to stoop down, wrap a towel around your waist, and wash other people's feet? Really love and care about other people. It might be as simple as buying somebody else a cup of coffee. It might be sending a note in the mail. It might be giving a phone call and listening. Anybody ever have somebody call you up and all they did was complain and you're holding the phone going, oh, please stop? It's part of the basin. Okay, go on. It's where life is at. Pastor, difference between a good and a bad church. The little things. One of the things I learned as a pastor that you'll see me doing a lot is when a child comes and is leaving, I will get down to their level just to let them know they're important. Teenagers, you will find that they get hugged a lot. Why? Because teenagers don't hug and don't get a lot of positive touches. And I still remember there was a girl who came in and was as grumpy could be. Mom and Dad brought her to church. She didn't want to be there. And I go up and I hug her. You know, not getting into her space, but to the side. And I go, so nice to see you. And she was so grumpy. It was funny, because after about 6 months planned, she would come up and go, lean in, get the hug over with. It was so, there were times I wasn't going to hug her, and she goes. But she melted. Because love was shown. That's our job. Our job is to melt people. To love them so that they can hear from Jesus themselves. We're not going to change them. But what we do is we bring them into the vicinity of Jesus and allow Him to change them. Remember, I mentioned this verse of Scripture? The world will know that you are my disciples because you have love for one another. Do you like that verse? Did you ever think about that verse? How is the world going to know that we are His disciples because we have love for one another? Think it through. People down the street are going to notice, Francis, that you and I get along. Does that seem sensible? It's a little tough, though. How are they going to pick up on that? It's going to happen because people who are incredibly unlovable come into our congregation and get accepted. Weird people, like me. Yeah, they're looking at me going, how can you sit under that guy as a pastor? He's weird. Yeah, but we love him anyway.
Yeah.
That's what happens. And then all of a sudden, these people who are different find acceptance and love and change.
That's all it is.
And people look in at this body of believers. I knew that guy. He wasn't like that before. What happened to him? Well, he was loved. And thus he changed. Because Jesus opened up the door for him through this wonderful group of people. Well, they don't seem that special. Well, they're not, but the Christ in them is. And they know how to love like Jesus loved. That's the key. Not that we speak in tongues of men and angels, not that we know all mysteries, not that we give like nobody else has given before, but it's the fact that we love each other. Friday night, we found out that we could have the worst food and the most terrible of service, yet we could have fun. Because Jesus is present when you love one another. Make sense? Stand with me, please. Lord Jesus, we come before you and we thank you for your ministry and your love. We're thankful for the fact, Lord Jesus, that while we were yet sinners, and that even though we are yet so imperfect, you love us. And that, God, your desire is to love other people through us. So, God, we lay down ourselves. We lay down our own wants and ask that you would flow to us and through us to help others. Jesus, we love you. Fill us like only you can. Let's sing this. Turn your